Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in and welcome. A real sicko production is, first of all, a watch along of a 15 and 20 76ers without Joel Embiid, without Paul George, without Andre Drummond. Who else was out? Without KJ Martin. Versus the 6 and 29 Washington Wizards without Jordan Poole, without their rookie Alexander Sarr. I guess he was active, though. It said DNP coach's decision. Without a couple of players for the Washington Wizards, Malcolm Brogdon. So a real test of kind of how bad is this 76ers supporting cast. You know, are they just bad, or are they Washington Wizards without Jordan Poole and Malcolm Brogdon and a couple of other players bad? We watched it. We're going to talk about it. They did blow a lead because that is what the 2025 Philadelphia 76ers do. It doesn't actually matter, you know, who's on the team, what day of the week it is, who they're playing, who's inactive, what quarter it is, how big the lead is. It does not matter. The lead 34 times. I feel like that's, I guess, games that they were winning. It's what they do. And they did it. And I did it again, by the way. In the third quarter, I said to the live stream, and every time I say it, I'm kind of joking, you know? Every time I say it, I'm kind of joking because it seems so unrealistic. But this time, against the 6 and 29 Washington Wizards without some of their best players, I was really joking this time when I said Sixers are up 15. Now they can't possibly blow this lead, right? Or were they up 18, whatever it was in the third quarter? They did. They found a way to do it. We're going to talk about everything, and then if you want to give me your thoughts on this game, or give me your thoughts on the Sixers in general, or give me your thoughts on the NBA, or anything else you want to talk about, you can call me directly, and you will be on the show, 951-981-7683, or you can join the Discord and jump in the call-in waiting room on the Discord. Don't hesitate to call in. It's a lot of fun, and we've been building up a caller base lately, and I'm really having a good time doing it. So if you have opinions that you want to give, feel free to call that number. We'll get you on the show the second half of this show. All of these post-game live shows are brought to you by Game Time Ticket app. Thank you to Game Time for continuing to sponsor the channel. Get all of your tickets from Game Time. Download the Game Time app and use promo code CLNS for $20 off. The app where tickets get cheaper, closer to the event. And hit the like button for me one time, all right? I'm up here every game, live and after every game. And, just for that, give me all the likes on YouTube. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, thank you for being there too. You almost have us on the main page when you type Sixers on Apple Podcasts. Let's get down to business. The Philadelphia 76ers did get a win, so we're going to celebrate no matter what. We're going to pour up anyway. Founders Breakfast Stout, the best damn beer ever made. No, they don't sponsor me. Founders, what's up, man? Sponsor my show. I love your beer. Let's talk about it, man. They did blow a lead. They did end up in a dogfight at the end of this game to the very, very bad Washington Wizards. I mean, we're talking about guys named Balil Coulibaly, Carlton Carrington, Julian Champagnie, who played for the Sixers before, Jared Butler, Kion George. These are the players we're talking about. The 76ers just went down to the wire with. Of course, Corey Kispert, Rashawn Holmes. Shout out to Rashawn Holmes. Does he count as a process Sixer? And Valanciunas. But here's what I want to say, man. This is how bad this 76ers supporting cast is. This isn't really that much of a shock to me, you know? We still have that attitude when we go into games like this where it's like, oh, it's the Wizards. You know what I mean? People were on Twitter when I was complaining about Joel Embiid sitting out this game, and they were like, dude, it's the 6-27 Washington Wizards, bro. It doesn't matter. And I'm like, have you watched any games this season without Joel Embiid, without Paul George? And I talk my trash on Paul George, but he's not worth the contract. He's never going to be. But there's nobody to take the pressure off of Tyrese Maxey when those guys are not out there. And this is not a good team without those two guys on the floor. This is what you saw in the beginning of the season, you know, when they were getting ran off the floor by the Toronto Raptors or whoever else. This is what was happening. And so this is what we saw tonight. So we got to accept it now. This is not a shock. This is not some kind of crazy thing that happened where the Sixers almost lost to the tanking Wizards. The Sixers without Joel Embiid are not good. The supporting cast is not good enough to survive against basically anybody. You know, when you're talking about Caleb Martin and Eric Gordon being two guys you're relying on when Joel and Paul George aren't there, I mean, how many games are you going to win expecting Caleb Martin to take somebody off the dribble, expecting 49-year-old Eric Gordon to do something? And shout out to him. He had a decent first quarter. Yeah, it's just, I already knew this. I did, you know, when they were up 15-18 in the third quarter, I thought they were going to put it away because I'm stupid. But it's not much of a shock that they ended up in a dogfight at the end of this game because this Sixers team without Joel Embiid and Paul George are not good. They're not good. And they're going to need them back, of course, if they want to do anything. It's getting frustrating how many games, you know, Joel Embiid's missing, but I'm to the point where I think the Sixers management is just like, our only chance is to have Joel Embiid healthy in the playoffs. We're going to keep him under 40 games. If we sneak into the play-in with a healthy Embiid, we have a chance against anyone. I think that's what management thinks. So here we are. At least they won the damn game. That's where I'm at with it. I don't think I'm going to go all, oh, this is a moral loss or this is terrible or how in the world could you blow a lead to the 6-29 Washington Wizards? Because the Sixers without Joel Embiid and Paul George are not good. You know? And Andre Drummond and KJ Martin. Let's think about it for a second, really. You know what I mean? They need those guys. They need all four of those guys. KJ Martin plays a big role defensively. So it's just, all I wanted to say is it's not that much of a shock. That's all I want to say. I do need to talk about Tyrese Maxey, man. Tyrese Maxey. Another game where you're going to see the stat sheet and you're going to say, hey, he dropped 29. You know, he did his thing. He did as much as he could with a terrible team. And there's some truth to that. But really, he went off in the third quarter and then, you know, started to get into a groove towards the end of the game a little bit to really save us. But the first half of this game, I was so frustrated with what Tyrese Maxey looked like. And, you know, if you're just box score watching, at least make sure you look at that 3-point percentage. And if you didn't watch the game and you didn't look at the box score yet, I'm going to tell you. And embrace yourself. You might want to hold your ears for this. Tyrese Maxey was 3 for 14 from 3 in this game. 3 for 14. 11 for 27 from the field. And this is exactly what was happening in the beginning of the season when Paul George and Joel Embiid were out. You know, Maxey struggles to find a rhythm without those guys taking the pressure off of the defense, at least in the first half of this game. In the first half, he just looked so, I don't know, man, like no confidence, demoralized, couldn't get to a spot, was getting clamped by Jared Butler. was getting clamped by Belil Kulalabi, and I was just watching him kind of just look so unsure of himself. He looked just like he looked in the beginning of the season in those games. He was chucking up bad 30-foot step back threes. He wasn't really trying to get to a mid-range. He had a couple drives where he just not patient and really using his any type of strategy, just going like diving at guys under the rim and then screaming at the official to try to get a foul. The first half of this game was beginning of the season Tyrese Maxey, and I was like, oh my God, bro, he really is struggling this season. When the light is on him. And he even had, I'm pretty sure, an air ball 3 in that first half. And then something happened at halftime. Somebody called him, or, somebody did a tarot card reading on him in the locker room, or somebody lit some sage and, swung it around in his vicinity, and he cleansed himself with it. I don't know. Something happened at halftime. And he came out in the third quarter and looked like he knew, hey, I'm Tyrese Maxey, and this is the Washington Wizards. And he just looked like a totally different player. He just looked like a totally different player. I mean, confidence. He looked comfortable. He was getting to a mid-range jump shot. He was getting all the way to the rim, but with a thought, with strategy, really like weaving in between defenders and getting to the reverse layup with the ball on the other side of the rim, and had some purpose to what he was doing instead of just flying headfirst into people and yelling at the officials. And with that inside-out game, then his three-point shot starts to fall. Still only 3 for 14, but I'm pretty sure he was 1 for 11 in the first half, so the 2 threes came in the second half. And he had 14 points, I believe, in that third quarter, and that's really what sparked us, and we were up by 15 or 18. And then, the 76ers did what the 76ers do. They blew the lead and went down to the wire. But he looked like a totally different player in the second half versus what he looked like in the first half. And I just, I know when Joel's not there, he's going to struggle because the other team's double teaming him the whole time. They really weren't much in the first half, though. Third quarter, he started cooking, and then the Wizards plan in the fourth quarter, which is how they made the run that they made. They went on a 13-2 run to get it to within one. Actually, they took the lead in the fourth quarter with about 5 minutes left. And Twitter started going crazy. Nick Nurse is going to get fired if they lose this game, etc. And the Wizards' strategy in that fourth quarter was what anybody's strategy is. Double team Tyrese Maxey, make somebody else beat you, right? And they started double teaming Tyrese Maxey right across half court. He had to get rid of the ball. And who are you relying on? Eric Gordon. Shout out to Yabusele. Huge game for Yabusele. Huge game for Yabusele. And he put the icing on the cake with the two-handed slam there at the end. That didn't count because they called a foul on the floor, but a huge block on his French teammate Kulalabi. I can't say that guy's name at all. So shout out to Yabusele, but yeah, they double teamed Maxey. They made somebody else beat him. Your best guys aren't out there aside from Tyrese. And if you're relying on Eric Gordon and Kelly Oubre to create a shot in the fourth quarter, it's going to be a disaster. And that's what happened, and that's how they went on a 13-2 run. And Yabusele and Tyrese saved us in the end. Shout out to Kelly Oubre, too, in this game, man. Physical, 2 steals, 4 assists, 2 blocks for Kelly Oubre. A big block on Valanciunas at the rim in the first half and gave him a cancel celebration that I liked a lot. But just doing Kelly Oubre things, end-to-end stuff, turning defense into offense and being the athletic, player that we need. Eric Gordon. Here's the thing with Eric Gordon, man. Here's the thing with Eric Gordon. Stephen Griffin, thank you for the super chat. You think Tyrese might be drained from having to always play 40 minutes due to our poor guard lineups? Yeah, I mean, that can definitely be part of it. Tyrese Maxey had 39 minutes in this game tonight. But he started the season shooting like this, So I can't really say that it's because he's tired. He started the season shooting like this. It's just hero ball because the team has no depth. when Joel Embiid and Paul George are not out there, and that's going to be the result of it. But he looked so much better and in control of himself in the second half than he did in the first half. So we'll see if that carries into the next game. But poor guard lineups, I don't know if it's lineups. I think it's poor guard rotation, poor guard depth on this team. There's no guards on this team. It's Tyrese Maxey. Who else is a guard on this team? Who else is a guard on this team? Nick Nurse had to start Eric Gordon. Bro, 2019, I was right here on YouTube screaming, where are the guards? I'm saying it again. Daryl, where are the guards, man? Now let's talk about Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon in the first half, in the first quarter, beginning of the game, actually. I think he was the highest scorer in the first quarter. He had 11 points in the first quarter, Eric Gordon did. He had 8 points in the first couple minutes of the game. And the thing about a player at the age of Eric Gordon is you can predict the burnout. You can see this happened last game too. Eric Gordon had 8 in the first and then played all 12 minutes of the fourth quarter and was a minus 15 in contributing to the loss to the Phoenix Suns. So I could see it coming. I was like, it's cool Eric Gordon's contributing, but the problem is Nick Nurse is then going to think Eric Gordon is really good, and he plays him the entire fourth quarter again, and he's not good in the fourth quarter. He got an ISO. The exact example is the Wizards double team and Tyrese Maxey at half court. He immediately gives it to Eric Gordon on the left wing. Eric Gordon tries to ISO and tries to do a very basic through the leg dribble and dribbles it off his leg and almost loses it. And like another play where he kicks it out of bounds. I mean, Eric Gordon's a guy that can give you a little bit of shooting at probably 8 minutes a game at this point in his career. Not 31 minutes. He played 31 minutes tonight. I thought Justin Edwards and Adem Bona, it was nice to see them out there. They weren't as effective as I would have liked them to be. Reggie Jackson hit a 3 at one point from the top of the key and then missed 2 other wide open ones. He did have 6 points off the bench, so shout out to Reggie Jackson. Ricky Council had 8 points off the bench. He was, in like a Ricky Council type of stint where he comes in and just does some crazy things, runs end to end and two-handed slam. He missed an alley-oop that I believe Tyrese Maxey threw him that was beautiful, and it was a wide-open dunk, and he missed it. Adem Bona was celebrating on the bench and then realized that he missed it and sat back down. Ricky Counts is just a wild card. You never know what's going to happen. He hit a deep 3 at a shot clock buzzer at one point. But, yeah, I mean, this team's not they're pretty much as good as the Washington Wizards if they're going to be playing without Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Andre Drummond, KJ Martin. So this isn't that much of a shock to me. But I'm happy that Tyrese Maxey came around in the second half because the Sixers were they were on the verge of maybe losing this game, man. They were on the verge of maybe losing this game. I want to go to the play-by-play here for a second and look at where they actually blew the lead at. And then we'll go to the phone lines. If you want to call the show, give me your thoughts on what you saw, or just give me your thoughts on the Sixers in general. Call the show 951-981-7683, or jump in the Discord. Maxman, I see you in the Discord waiting. I'm going to get to you right after this, my friend. Let's go to the fourth quarter where the 76ers blew this lead. Let me get this up here. Window capture. That's not it. That's the chat. Shout out to the chat. Here we go. Let's see. Up 88-74 to start the fourth. Reggie Jackson enters the game for Tyrese Maxey. And this is where the Wizards, we were still up 12 here. They cut it to 9. Jared Butler hit a 26-foot three-pointer. Jared Butler had a career game. I didn't check if that's a career high, but it probably is. He had 26 at one point. Here they were up by still up by 11 here. Jeff Doughton Jr. made a 13-foot floating jump shot. They were still up by 11. They were up by 10 here on a Maxey 2 with 7 minutes left. And this is where the Wizards went on a 13-2 run. Right around here, 7 minutes left. Corey Kispert, 25-foot three-pointer. Carlton Carrington, 16-foot jump shot. We had a Gershon Yabusele miss in there. We had a Kelly Oubre miss. Corey Kispert driving layup. The Wizards had a bunch of offensive rebounds. That's just always going to happen. This happened in 2 minutes. This 13-0 run, from 7 minutes to about 4:57. It was a Corey Kispert 3, a Carlton Carrington shot, a Corey Kispert layup, a Carlton Carrington 8-foot pull-up jump shot, a Corey Kispert another 3, and then Kelly Oubre had a two-handed slam there to stop the bleeding that tied it at 98. And then we were in a dogfight all the way to the end of it, and we pulled it out. The Wizards collapsed. This 21-foot shot from Kyle Kuzma was a bad one with 56 seconds left. I thought Kyle Kuzma took a couple of bad shots down the stretch there, just trying to be the guy. When I thought if I was the Wizards, I would have wanted Jared Butler to be the guy right there. Not like it matters for the Wizards. Who care? They don't care if they win anyway. They're in a hunt for. They're in the Cooper flag sweepstakes. But yeah, a quick 13-2 run by the Wizards. Really on just some made shots. The Sixers leaving guys wide open. There was a play where Tyrese Maxey, I think it might have been the second 3 that Corey Kispert hit here, where Maxey double teamed Carlton Carrington around a screen and left Corey Kispert wide open. The sniper that is actively destroying you. Your thumbnail is no good news, man. Your caption is no good news. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Did I say good news? What does it say? Sixers survive a dogfight with the Wizards. No, that's not good news. You're right. I agree with you. So that's how they blew the lead. But my take on the game really is that the 76ers without Joel Embiid, Paul George, Andre Drummond are not good. So you shouldn't have expected them to really blow out the Wizards, even without Jordan Poole and Malcolm Brogdon and whoever else. It just is what it is. So the fact that they at least pulled off a win, I'm gonna say a win is a win there. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it, man. Listen, man, we're gonna get to my man Maxman is hanging out in the Discord. And if you want to call the show, 951-981-7683, or join the Discord, or just give your takes in the chat, man, and I'll hang out for a minute. Let's go over to Maxman. Maxman. Let's see. Maxman in the Discord. Maxman in the Discord, man.
How's it going?
Yo, Maxman, what's up?
I just want to talk about, this felt like, because, we went on that stretch where we were terrible, where we had nobody at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
It felt like watching that over again. I just wanted to, rip out each one of my hairs with, I don't know, dude. It was painful. Kind of like the Suns game, but, same type of level of pain, but, I thought, because I looked at the score, I didn't really want to watch it that much,
Yeah.
But I looked at the score, and then I see the Wizards just slowly get that run, and I'm like, how do you do that? And Nick Nurse just runs the worst lineup ever created, in the history of.
Well, I mean, do you feel like I agree, but at the same time, with a game like this, I mean, what are his other options? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he has no options, because the roster is just a bunch of. It's just a senior center.
Yeah, I've been going back and forth the whole season. Is the roster this bad, or is Nick Nurse this bad, or I know he plays older guys, and I would like him to play younger guys, but I don't think Justin Edwards or anybody was making that much of a difference in this game if they were in there.
Yeah. Surprisingly, Eric Gordon was he was on top of his game.
In the first half, he was. He was not good in the second half, and he was terrible in the fourth quarter, especially when it mattered the most. And that's the same thing that happened in the Phoenix Suns game. He scored a couple points, but he's a 35-year-old. He's washed, and if he plays too many minutes,
Yeah, he kind of just falls asleep at the wheel. He's like, where am I again?
Yeah, exactly. He's too old to be out there. He's too old to be out there for 30 minutes.
Yeah. This game, I don't know what I expected because Embiid, Paul George out. Obviously, it's gonna be a painful watch. But definitely gotta make a move in trade deadline. But we don't really have that many assets because of the way everything's set up.
Yeah, they got some draft picks. They got some moves they can make if they want to make moves. I think the bigger question is, do you want to give up assets to make a move, or do you just want to wait till next season? You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what they do, man.
Yeah.
Maxman, thank you for calling the show, buddy. Shout out to Maxman in the Discord. Basically told me he wasn't watching the game. He was looking at the stats. So I don't blame you for not watching this game. If you were watching Cavs Thunder or something else on TV or Squid Games or something much more entertaining than a Sixers Wizards game without Joel Embiid, and then I don't blame you at all. But there's a lot of misleading things in the box score. You know what I'm saying? The Tyrese Maxey first half was terrible. He finishes with 29 points, so you wouldn't really know that if you didn't watch it. Eric Gordon, you wouldn't really know how bad he was in the fourth quarter again if you didn't watch it. But I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. Let's go over to the phone line. Let me set up my output, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for calling the show. Is this Philip here on the phone line? Do I got Philip on the line?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
What's going on, man?
No, man. I'm about done with this Maxey thing on the ball, man. I'm about done with it. Like, I mean, everybody fell in love with Maxey a couple years ago when Harden was here, and rightfully so. I mean, he had less responsibility. Get the ball, go to the basket, or shoot the jumper. That's it. As we can clearly see, he doesn't have much of a dribble package, right? It's just pure speed, 100 miles an hour to the basket, or it's a step-back three that's more than likely contested. And I think that also leads to the fact why he doesn't get the calls that he thinks he deserves, because he's going too fast to the basket. And there's no in-between pace and nothing like that going on. So until he learns that piece of it, he's not going to get the calls, I don't think. And until he gets the calls, he's going to be inefficient. And I can't take too much more of this 28 points on 28 shot stuff. I know tonight kind of was, he had to do it, but even still, without that third quarter, he was wildly inefficient. And we were still up for some godforsaken reason. We were still up.
Yeah. Well, probably against maybe any other team in the league, you probably wouldn't have been up in that first half. So it's probably because it was the Wizards.
Yeah, exactly. yeah, man. And so, I mean, I don't know. I need a facilitating point guard up in here. I'm thinking, I want to say Lonzo Ball, but, I mean, he's on the last part of his deal, and he's injury riddled, and he's still working himself back. But that type of style play would definitely suit us better than just having Max in the ball right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I was saying the same thing this offseason. I was saying the same thing this offseason. I was saying that, because I was at that level last year, that Tyrese Maxey's a two guard. He can be a really good two guard if you set him up to score and don't, have him be responsible for running the offense. And Daryl Morey's plan was, let's bring Kyle Lowry back. So that was his answer for that. You know what I mean? I think Malcolm Brogdon is that type of point guard that I would like, but he's also injury prone and getting up there. And yeah, I don't know who the answer is, man, but I think you're right about it. What else you got, bro?
Yeah, just something to free him up. Also, with Embiid, the way I see it, he's going to miss. Like, I think what their plan is is to have him play 7, like out of a 10-game stretch, play 7 games. That's what we're looking at from now to the rest of the season. So I just want everybody to get prepared for that. Like every 10-game stretch, he's going to miss 3. I don't know what 3 they're going to be. I saw reports today he's trying to play multiple back-to-backs this upcoming week or so. But we just got to get prepared for that and stop being shocked when he misses the game. Like if that's the strategy. Like he has a bone-on-bone condition that's not going to get better. So
well,
that's what it is on that front. But that's all I got, man.
Yeah. Hey, brother, thank you so much for calling the show, man. Great call, and call back anytime. Shout out to Philip on the phone line. Yeah, and you know me, I get annoyed with Joel Embiid missing games when I first get the notification. You know, when I first see the tweet, or when I first see like the Keith Pompey report or Shams or whoever it is, I get annoyed by it, and I overreact for like 7 minutes now. And then I'm like, this is it. This is the new. Shams said at the beginning of the season, this is the new normal. This is what's going to happen. Joel Embiid's going to not play any back-to-backs, and he's going to have periodic time off. That's what he said at the beginning of the season. And then somebody, shout out to you in the chat. I'm sorry, I forgot who it was, but somebody in the chat said, so is this the new normal for his entire extension? He has a 3-year extension that doesn't kick in until after next season. After this season, he's on this team for 4 more seasons. 26, 27, 28, and 29. So are we going to be doing this Joel Embiid only playing 38 games a season for the next 5 years? Well, I don't even think he plays that long. I think he retires halfway through that contract, but I just wanted to throw that out there. We got my man NZ for 3 on the Discord, and then I'll go back to the phone line. Hang on the phone line. Don't give up. I'm going to get to you. Thank you guys so much for calling the show. I really appreciate it. NZ for 3.
What's good, East? How are you?
What's good, man? I'm doing great, man. Life is beautiful outside of the Sixers being annoying, but
yeah, I don't know what we have done to deserve this team torturing us every night, but it's something else. Look, man, I just got 2 observations from the game. First, it has to do with Tyrese Maxey. Now, look, he was like beyond awful in the first half. Dude, I was getting PTSD from Isaiah Cannon. I don't know if you're feeling the same way, but he was looking like that. It was disgusting.
Isaiah Cannon was one of the worst basketball players I ever watched, man. Oh my God, he was bad.
Yeah, and like it was frightening, but I think Tyrese Maxey, he really showed his ability to adapt, I believe, because like he was struggling a lot in the first half, just chucking up threes, missing wide open 3-pointers. It's really been sad to see how he kind of regressed from the perimeter. Like I said a couple days ago, like Tyrese Maxey, he used to be automatic from 3, I felt like, but it's just he's so streaky on that end now. But in the second half, I think he definitely put in a different mindset of getting himself, utilizing his speed, just in a different mindset of helping out his teammates more, using his burst to get to the rim and draw an extra defender. Had a couple great passes to Yabu from 3. And I think Yabu, like, he's got to be in debates for the greatest Joel Embiid role player ever. Like, I think he's definitely better than Nick Batum, as excellent Batum was. Yabu, I think he's on a complete different level with his grit, athleticism, and just dog mentality.
Yeah, dude, Maxey looked like a different player in the second half. It's almost like he comes into a game and is so, I don't know, like he's not clear, like his thoughts aren't clear, like he's too ahead of himself and can't gather. And then the second half, he looks more patient and in control of what he's doing and can get to a shot. It's like he calms down. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and I think it's pretty clear by now that I don't think he'll ever. I mean, at least from what I saw from this game and how he's been playing throughout his career, I don't know if he could really ever develop into a true floor general. And I think that's fine. I think like being a point guard, it's sort of an instinct thing. And I mean, Maxey's a decent passer, like passing accuracy wise, he's good. I think it just lacks. He's prone to having tunnel vision. And I think some of his passes, especially like pocket passes, they lack a velocity that you see other playmakers like James Harden be able to use to their advantage. But yeah, I mean, I just like Maxey's ability to change his mindset, not let sort of the pressure, because all the fans watching, I'm sure they're really displeased with how they're playing, but he, didn't let all of that get to his head. He just, stayed calm, switched up his game a little bit, got his teammates more involved, and really, I think, helped the Sixers, get this W. But there's one more thing I wanted to point out is Adem Bona. Like Adem Bona in the box score, his stats weren't really that impressive in 14 minutes, but I think he made a significant impact on both ends on the floor, even if he wasn't scoring. Defensively, just his ability to leap and contest shots, like just the amount of ground that he covers on the defensive end is truly something, that the Sixers have needed for a while now.
Yep.
And offensively, he was really good setting screens. Like I think the Wizards, they were able to get back, into the game a lot of times because a lot of Sixers players, especially like Kayla Martin or Kelly, they just got stuck in screens, like stonewalled and let up easy shots for Corey Kispert. But Adem Bona replicated that really well and got some guys some easy shots.
Yeah.
But like overall, we got out rebounded 51-36.
Yep.
18, and if the Wizards had that advantage, and they're one of the worst teams in the league. But if we can't continue to rebound against these better teams in the league, I don't know how it's going to look. Man.
Well, it's not. I mean, without Embiid and Drummond, and with him starting Yabusele, like we said, we love Yabusele, but he's a stretch four. He's not a defensive. Yeah. He's not only not a center. He's definitely not a rebounding center or a defensive center. And he's running. Right. He's running the guy out there at center for 40 minutes. That's what's going to happen. You're going to get out rebounded 51-36. They had 18 offensive rebounds. So yeah. I mean, yeah, they need Drummond back, but I think they need Drummond and Embiid back. But I think in situations like these, I would think you would use Adem Bona a lot more. But
exactly, but Nick Nurse's Doc Rivers 2.0. It's insane. Like I'm not trying to sound like I'm Mr. Know-It-All, but it's not that. It's pretty obvious that you play a young, hungry, 6'10" athletic freak on the court and not a 6'5" guy.
This is what I was saying in the beginning of the season, especially against these teams who look at the guys that were on the floor for the Wizards. This is what happened.
Rashawn Holmes, dude, process legend. I think he had 14 rebounds at least.
This is what was happening in the beginning of the season. I was like, bro, the Toronto Raptors deep bench is out there giving you buckets and you won't put your young guys on the floor. Like he refuses to do it and the other team has to do it. And those guys are, I've been saying the same thing the whole season, but I agree with you, man.
Yep. It's good we got this W though, because if we blew this lead, I don't know what I'd do.
Shout out to NZ for 3. Are you still rocking out on YouTube? You still making YouTube videos?
Well, I brought because of school and everything. It's been tough to post consistently, but I've just started doing play-by-play live streams now. I actually did it tonight, but it's been pretty fun.
Shout out to NZ for 3. Everybody subscribe to him on YouTube. It's literally at NZ for 3 on YouTube.
I appreciate it, Eastwood. Thanks
for calling the show, man. Take it easy. NZ for 3. Appreciate you anytime you call the show, man. I mean that's what's gonna happen when you're down Embiid and Drummond, and on top of that, your head coach for some reason would rather play Yabusele at center, who again we love Yabusele. We think he's a great stretch four. I can't figure out why a coach keeps going into a game running Gershon Yabusele at center for 40 minutes and expecting that to work. He's, literally the first minute of the game, Valanciunas got an offensive rebound by just reaching over top of him. And he reached over top of him and grabbed the ball like this. And then he didn't even bring it down. He just turned it and he laid it in over top of him. Yabusele's 6'8", 275. But there's guys in the league like Valanciunas who are 7'1", who can make a 6'8", 275 guy look small. And you would think that he would use the size of Adem Bona more in a game like this. But I said the same thing against the Kings. I said the same thing. I mean, I'm just, I'm saying the same thing all the time. And Siri said she found something on the web. I don't know what that's about. Let's go back to the phone line, man. Shout out to the callers on the phone line. Caller, you're on the show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yo, it's me, Gabe.
Gabe is back in the house, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, Gabe?
Mhm.
What you
Yeah.
got, Gabe? What you think, man? Gabe, you got school tomorrow, don't you, man? It's about 10:45, man.
Mm.
What's up, Gabe?
Mm.
Gabe, what's up, man? Tell me what you're
Yeah.
thinking, man.
I watched this game until like the third quarter, after like the end of the third quarter because it was pretty boring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you turned it off in the third quarter,
then
or
I
you watched it
tuned it-
after that?
I was watching this game back on League Pass because I live in the Cleveland area.
Okay.
Yeah. I
All right. What happened? You turned the game off in the
and
third
then
quarter,
I
you said, or what?
tuned back into like 4:30 left at fourth, and I was really baffled out because this team without Joel Embiid, without Paul George, and without Andre Drummond, this is like one of the worst teams in the league. They're as bad. They're bad.
They are, Gabe. They are.
Mhm.
They're not. You know,
Um,
you're right. You're right. They are.
Yeah.
Is that all you got, Gabe? Is that all you wanted to say?
hmm
All right.
And
All right, Gabe. Yo, Gabe, thanks for calling again, man. Shout out to Gabe on the phone line, everybody. Gabe is a 12-year-old Sixers fan. And I keep warning him, dude. Somebody said he snapped. He snapped yesterday with the Winnie the Pooh comment. He is a 12-year-old Sixers fan. I keep warning him. I keep telling him, bro, do something else with your life. Don't watch the Sixers, man, because there's a lot of years of pain and misery ahead of you. And he won't take my advice. Here he is, 12 years old. He's awake at 10:45 because he watched the Sixers versus the Wizards on a Wednesday night. And so you know what that makes Gabe, man? That makes him a sicko like the rest of us. It's just it's just in your blood, bro. There's nothing you can do about it. Sixers are on, you're watching it. You know? I remember it was the Eagles. It was like a big Eagles Sunday, and the Sixers were playing the Bulls at 1 p.m. and I was watching the Sixers versus the Bulls. That's disgusting. There's nothing we can do to fix it, man. Back to the phone line. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yo.
Hey, the YouTube channel.
What's going on, man? Yo.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, we got you. What's up?
Okay. That Sixers game, I would say was really bad, but these kind of games happen over and over, so it's not really a surprise to me, especially against the Wizards. Every game I feel like we're up 20 points, and we allow the other team to come back. Whether it's the Wizards, whether it's the Celtics. This happened Christmas Day versus the Celtics. This happened today. I think this happens every game. And I don't know if it's just part of our like DNA to choke games all the time, or it's a coaching issue. But I don't think it's a coaching issue because we had Doc, and
yeah, but I think he's bad too.
this is happening nonstop. So Nick Nurse.
I think it is a coaching issue. I think what happens in these runs is that the coach does not adapt or change anything really, because there's no, I just see such a basic strategy. Give Maxey the ball, run a ball screen. If they double team him, he swings it. Then you got an Eric Gordon ISO. Then you got a Kelly Oubre ISO or a Caleb Martin ISO. And it's really, that's the whole playbook. That's how those runs happen, because they start to figure it out and they say, okay, let's just keep trapping Maxey and make him get rid of the ball. And they go on a 13-2 run with 5 minutes left in the game. The thing is that Doc Rivers used to do the same thing. He also has no playbook and no strategy. And Brett Brown, I don't even think he's a basketball coach anymore. So people, can say, oh, you always blame the coach. Yeah, I watched 3 really bad coaches in a row. This is the third one. That's where I'm at with it.
I feel like you can't, like at this point, how much times are we going to blame the coach? I mean, yeah, Brett Brown, like
me,
that wasn't really
all
a
the
serious
time.
Coach. Doc Rivers, same with him. I mean, like he's known for his choking issues, But Nick Nurse, like originally when we got him, I was really excited about it because like championship winning coach, and he's not like Doc Rivers. Like Doc Rivers is just like, I don't know, nothing exciting about him. Nick Nurse actually seemed like an exciting coach, but he's basically Doc Rivers. So,
Yeah, we got duped.
But regarding my comment though, like I don't know if it's a coaching issue or just part of our team. Like we choke no matter what.
I think when it comes down to it and you start to say over the years, and it doesn't matter who's on the team, they always do this. I think, yeah, it is a coaching issue because I think it's a strategy issue. I think it's an effort issue. I think it's the message being sent from the top or lack thereof. Yeah, I think it is. We talk about the Sixers don't have a culture, but who's bringing the culture? Well, I mean, I'm starting to this game too. I'm starting to see that Nick Nurse, I think, is more focused on the officials than his own team the entire game. I remember back in Toronto.
Yeah, that's so annoying. Like it's so annoying.
We hated it when we played against him in Toronto, but when he came to Philly, I thought that was we finally have a coach that's going to get on the refs. But now I'm like, you're losing to the Wizards, bro, and you're yelling at the refs. You should be yelling at Eric Gordon. I don't think he's focused on what's going on.
Earlier in the game, there was like a goaltending thing like with Maxey where obviously it was a goaltend, they didn't call it, but like he's complaining to the refs, but he's ignoring the fact that he's allowing the Wizards to go on like a whatever run it was.
Exactly.
Like, it's the Wizards without Jordan Poole, without Sarr, without like Brogdon. Like he's more focused about the officials making a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, and they want to cry about the no call on the goaltend and then an obvious double dribble by Kuzma on the other side, and people were
that was terrible.
But you're right. People even in the stream when I was live wanted to like, oh, the refs are throwing the game and all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't even care. Yeah, 2 bad calls in a row. Yeah. Boo hoo! You shouldn't be in this situation. I don't even care.
The other thing, I feel like we need a shooting guard. More than like a backup point guard. Well, we need both, but we don't have a true shooting guard on the team. I feel like McCain was really good. He was like an automatic shooter. Like every time he shot, you thought like it was gonna go in. But now with him gone, and like him being gone is like crazy too, because like if he was still here, we'd be in such a better position.
Yeah. Like
with Embiid finally back, Paul George.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree. It's tough. Jared McCain lost it. Losing Jared McCain is tough. But yeah, I think that I don't think they have a true point guard on the roster, and I don't think they have outside of Maxey. I don't think they have. There's no like 6'5", 6'6" shooting guard on the roster either. That's why Eric Gordon was starting.
Yeah, well, like you can't have Eric Gordon and Kyle Lowry in the playoffs. Like
no,
that's probably what's going to happen. But you can't have it. You're not going to win any games like that.
No.
I feel like DiVincenzo is a...
Bro, you said that, and Michael Cruz in the chat said it literally at the exact same time. Dante DiVincenzo.
Oh, really?
That's fire.
I love DiVincenzo. And in fact, he went to Villanova too. Like he's like a local kid. Like.
But I
remember last year, like when he was on the Knicks.
Yeah.
Versus, like, he was so annoying to watch because I think every time he shot,
he's a dog.
It was automatic.
He's a dog, man. He's a dog. Hey, man, listen, thank you so much for calling the show. What's your name? I'm going to lock you in here, man. What's your name?
Ben.
All right, Ben, man. Thank you for calling the show, bro. Call back anytime. Shout out to Ben on the phone line. Yeah, DiVincenzo's a dog, man. He's a guy that can, he's a combo guy that you can just throw on the floor, and he's a bucket, man. And he's a hustler. He's a hard-nosed, Villanova boy. So he, same thing with Mikal Bridges and those guys, man. They just have that pedigree. They know what it takes to win big games. And he's a guy that can just give you 30. Like DiVincenzo can give you 35, dude. But I don't know, and I've heard this is great, dude. I love that he brought that up. Shout out to Ben on the phone line, and shout out to Michael Cruz in the chat right there. I love that you brought that up because there's also been rumors that it's not working out in Minnesota or whatever with DiVincenzo. I guess we can look that up, man. What's Dante DiVincenzo's contract? He's on a 4-year, $50 million deal he agreed to a 4-year, $50 million deal with the Knicks. He signed after DiVincenzo signed after Brunson signed. Dante D. Let me see if I can spell it. DiVincenzo contract. There we go. Let's see. He signed a 4-year contract. Wow, just last year. Just last year, he signed a 3-year extension. Well, either way, he signed for 24-25 this year. In 2 more years, he signed for 25-26 and 26-27. But it's not, bro, it's only, bro, that's a cheap contract, bro. Bro, that's a cheap contract. If Dante DiVincenzo comes here, he'll get thoracic outlet syndrome. But, bro, that's an affordable contract. You look at, he's making $11.4 million this year. He's making $11.9. Next year, he's making $12.5 the last year of that contract. That's a damn good, affordable role player contract. And if you look at that $10 million, you could say, KJ Martin right now, who is on a balloon deal, is making $8 million a year, right? So who would you rather have? Obviously, Dante DiVincenzo or KJ Martin. Just an example of how close those contracts are in amount per year. I would love that as a trade. I would love Dante DiVincenzo as a trade. I don't know if Daryl Morey has what it takes to pull that off. And I don't know if the Timberwolves even trade him. Maybe they just try to work it out because he's signed for that long. I don't know. Let's go back to the phone line, man. We got 2 more people on the phone line, and then we'll get up out of here. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, DJ.
What's going on?
My name's Wayne from Australia, Aussie Sixer. How are you, brother?
Shout out to Wayne from Australia. I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, man. Not bad. Just wanted to say, big fan of your channel. Been listening to you since the COVID days and that. Driving around on my forklift. Your rants crack me up, man. Good stuff.
Hey, man, I appreciate that, bro. That's amazing, dude. Are you on a forklift right now?
Nah. Other shifts are usually on, but nah. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon here, but yeah, I got the day off.
Hey, thanks, man. And I'm glad that I can give you some entertainment while you're driving a forklift down in Australia. The internet is wild.
Yeah, indeed, man, indeed. I just wanted to ring up and just say, man, that Paul George contract is just, it is so bad. It is just, I think the Sixers really need to get it off their books. I know it's almost impossible, but, we've only got 10 mil to kind of work with, and we're not one player away from a championship, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just going to say that to the last caller. There's a lot of, you're not one player away. I agree with that.
And, the Mavs showed last year, if you can just get the right role players, you can be a contender and it can just take you to the next step. And they got PJ Washington for Grant Williams, and it just changed them. And it just, next minute they're in the NBA championship. And I just think we need more role players. Maybe if we can get PG for a Kyle Kuzma and a Brogdon or something, but they are injury prone.
Yeah.
Maybe even to the Magic for a Jonathan Isaac, a KCP, and maybe Anthony off the bench. We would have to probably give up Yabusele. We'd have to give up probably a young kid like Boner or Ricky Council, and we'd have to give up some draft capital for sure to get that PG contract. But I think, he could go to Washington and they could just be oh, yeah, we got PG, sell some tickets. They're not going anywhere for the next 4 years kind of thing. So
yeah, but
that is a destination,
Well, didn't they do that with Russell Westbrook a couple years ago? You know what I mean? And I think, I look at how would you get rid of that Paul George contract, and that would be a way for a team that's still trying to get to the top of the draft, so they're not going to be competing for the next 4 or 5 years anyway, and they know that. So those are the type of, I guess, places you could trade him. But I don't think Daryl Morey's doing that anyway. You know what I mean? We can all see that's a terrible contract, and it's not. It might be the worst signing. I don't know. It might be the worst signing I've ever seen. And the second worst signing I've ever seen might be the Joel Embiid 3-year extension. all in the same year. They might be the two worst contracts I've ever seen.
Indeed.
But I don't think Daryl Morey's going to trade him anyway, because I don't think Daryl Morey's going to admit that those are that bad. I think he's going to try to fix it.
Yeah, I just think like we're just restricted now with roster construction, and it's the only way. I think he has to bite the bullet, you know, and yeah, he's just got shit for brains, and he just needs to do something. Like, And secondly too, I just wanted to say, you know, Joel Embiid, you know, he's just always been busted, you know, every year kind of thing. But like, it's because we don't have the right team around him. Like, we've never had a big power forward to like help him rebound, you know, help him block shots. He always has to do everything. He always anchoring defense. And then he's also our main attack weapon.
Yeah, he's always been that. He's always been that, you know, holding down both ends. And I agree. We've never really put a strong supporting cast around him. I completely agree with that. I see the Sixers, you know, it's been 8 years now. They basically did the same thing they did with Allen Iverson. They tried, but every year it was just a mediocre addition, or they always missed out on the big name in their prime. They almost had Tracy McGrady early on in his career in like the second, like Iverson was drafted 96. They almost had Tracy McGrady in like 99, which would have been an incredible pairing, and they missed out. They always just miss out on the guy to add to that. And the same thing happened with Joel Embiid. His whole career's passing by, and really, like, who has he had next to him? Besides Tyrese Maxey, who was a steal in a draft, but that wasn't even, you know, that wasn't even really a plan. So I agree with you. But he signed to a 3-year extension, and he looks like he's he signed to a 3-year extension. He looks like he's about retired, though.
Sorry, what was that?
He signed to a 3-year extension. And he looks like he's about retired.
It doesn't look good. No, yeah, it doesn't look good. Like, I don't know if they could trade him. Like, also, you know, I love him so much, though. Like, he just gives us a chance every year, and that I'd hate to see him go, but yeah, like, you know, if you can just get some draft picks, you know, so we can try to draft some players around McCain and look for the future. Maybe that's the way we have to go.
Maybe, man. We'll see, bro. Hey, what's your name again, man? I'm gonna lock you in here.
Wayne.
Wayne.
Or Waynos.
Wayne, Australia, man. We'll put you in like that, bro. Thank you so much for calling the show, Wayne. And have yourself a good night, man. Call back anytime. Shout out to the Down Under. Shout out to Wayne from Australia. Said he listens to my show while he's driving a forklift in Australia. That just blows my mind. Like, you put videos on the internet from your house in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and there's a guy driving a forklift in Australia listening. That's crazy, yo. And a Sixers fan listening to me talk about the Sixers, which should not be happening because none of us should be Sixers fans. But we are. We can't help it. I think we got Richard here on the phone line, man, and then we're going to call it a night. Richard, are you still there?
Yeah, what's going on, DJ? What's good?
What's up, man?
The RJ7 Deuce, bro. It's my first time calling in.
RJ.
What's going on? What's going on, bro?
Oh, Richard Jackson. That's why your name is RJ.
I hope you can hear me good. Yeah, right. I hope you can hear me good. I'm a truck driver, so I'm on the road right now headed to Texas.
Oh, it's all good, bro.
So
we got you.
I got two points right now. Are we a stupid fan base or something? Because, like, I legit went into I'm going to try not to curse too much, but I went into this damn season, like, when free agency started, we signed PG. I'm like, all right, we gave him too much, but I'm like, it's the max. That's what you got to give it. We came out with Reggie Jackson and Eric Gordon and Andre Drummond, and they've all been bad. Like, I forgot how stupid and dumb Andre Drummond looks playing basketball. Like, I forgot how clumsy he was. Like, we just was like, he's a good rebounder, he's a good backup, and just forgot about all of the horrible shit he does when he's on the court.
Bro, we weren't watching the Chicago Bulls.
The team does not know how to win. Like, that's the biggest problem. Like, the team, like, we brought Lowry back. I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, we need leadership, but he's not a good leader. Like, the team has no toughness. Like, I argue with my god brother all season because I wanted them to bring Marcus Morris back because I'm like, they need a tough player that's great. Like, I'm like, all right, you got to lay out with Sully, but he's not a legit vet. He hasn't been in the league. Like,
how about what about Caleb Martin and Kelly Oubre? Those guys are tough perimeter players. You know what I mean? I feel like Marcus Morris would be.
I agree with you on that.
Marcus Morris would be just like signing Kyle Lowry for his toughness. Sure, good veteran leader, but he can't play anymore.
Marcus Morris can still play though. Like,
can he?
He played good in the playoffs for the Cavs. Like, you know what I mean? He can still play. Like, he can give you 15, 14. You know, not every night, but a couple games. You know what I mean? Out the week. Like,
where's he at right now?
They look bad. I'm in Ohio right now, headed down to Texas.
No, I meant where's
oh, my bad.
No, it's all good. Shout out to RJ, truck driver, man, all over the place. You never know where he's gonna call from. But where's Marcus Morris right now? Is what I'm saying.
I don't even know if he was on the Knicks and then they dropped him. If you got a second before you stop in your stream, I'm just curious how much the campaign signed for with the Knicks compared to what we paid Eric Gordon. I'm very curious about that. Because I feel like he would have been a way better sport to just bring him back compared to what we get out of Eric Gordon. Like, I thought Eric Gordon was a good player, and bro, he is trash. Like, he's awful.
Wait, where's Cameron Payne's back?
It's gonna be a long season.
Cam Payne's back in Phoenix. Wait, no, he's not. That's 2021. Hold up. Cameron Payne signed a 1-year deal with the New York Knicks for, you're not gonna believe this, bro. It's a minimum contract, $3 million.
Oh,
he signed for 1 year, $3 million. It's a veteran minimum.
They gave Eric Gordon like 5.5 of them.
And they gave Kyle Lowry another minimum. They signed Kyle Lowry over Cameron Payne, dude.
Nobody's heard anything from Daryl Morey all year. The guy has not heard nothing from him. He got his extension, and he was like, whatever. Seeing when they say, no, I'm not worried about it.
I remember going into the offseason, and I was like, I had Cameron Payne on like high up on the list of players I wanted to re-sign, him and Kelly Oubre. And they just forgot about him completely.
Yeah, it's like they had no interest in it, but they bring Lowry.
Terry Johnson, dude. Someone said what was
Terry Johnson?
What was campaign's cop name, dude? Terry Johnson. Free Terry Johnson, dude.
So I'm very concerned that he's gonna try to trade Maxey to get Jimmy Butler. Like, I can see that happen. I know he had to add another player for the salaries to match up, but like, I would not be shocked if that's ridiculous. I know they can't move McCain because he's injured or whatever, but like, I can see something like that happening because it's like Embiid wants Butler back. Like, bro, we've wasted the bulk of his career. Like, he was forced to play with a running mate that refused to shoot the ball, and it's like, all right, well, we're going to keep Tobias, who has no heart at all. Like, bro, it's crazy. I was listening to what you were saying with the last caller about how we wasted AI with, like, you didn't even mention the 98 draft where we could have took Paul Pierce. Like, it was like back-to-back years we missed on draft picks.
Yeah, Keith Van Horn, Paul bro.
Pierce, and then the following year we missed on T-Mac.
They drafted Keith Van Horn, number 2 overall, 1997.
Yeah, and he refused to play here. We had to send him to the Nets. We got him later down later down the line. Like, he never even came here during that time. He came later on. Like, I think we traded we knew Big Dog. We got
Tim, I think you're right.
Something like that.
I think you're right about that.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, thank God for the Eagles, man. This team, bro, this team is stressing me out, bro. And it's like, I can't stop watching them because I'm such a fan. Like, it's like you in every game, and it's like, you know, you don't get stressed out. I'm like, all right, they blowing this team out. They're gonna blow the fucking league. Like, we know it's gonna happen, and it happens every time. It's like, bro, we got bamboozled. I thought Nick Nurse was a great coach. I'm like, bro, Godfrey is wrong. We got a legit coach in here. He don't do shit. Like, he refuses to play the young players. Like, and I'm like, you know, we get mad at Rick Council because he plays out of control. But I'm like, if he got some more consistency, he might look better. bro, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It is. It is. RJ, I agree. I agree with everything you said once again, brother. And thank you so much for calling. And be safe on the road, man. Shout out to you. Make that money. I'll hear from you soon, man.
All right, bro.
RJ, live from the rig on the highway in Ohio after my man Wayne down in Australia. You never know where you're going to get a call from on the phone line, and that's dope. And thank you guys so much for calling the show and contributing to the conversation, man. Because I get tired of hearing myself a lot. You know what I'm saying? But before we get out of here, I want to remind you guys the Cameron Payne's cop name. Cameron Payne, when he was playing for the 76ers, they raided a house that he was at, and something like that, or there was a fight outside of a house that he was at. Something happened. He was standing outside the house. The cop asked him for his ID. He refused to give his ID. Cop asked him what his name is, and he said, Terry Johnson. And then he got arrested, and he got charged with providing a false name to the police. And that was just such a fun story, dude, because we were saying free Terry Johnson, and it just felt like such a Philly thing for somebody to just give a fake name to the police and refuse to snitch on whatever was happening. Even if you're an NBA player, dude, he said Terry Johnson, man. That's wild. Shout out to Cameron Payne. And shout out to you guys, because you're making a very difficult season to watch a lot more fun and entertaining. So thank you for tuning in all the time. And yeah, man, another one in the books. Sixers escape. And we'll see you soon.